In the past, a frog called Jag-eun lived with his mother at a pond in the forest. His father had left them not long after Jag-eun and his brothers were born. Unfortunately, due to the extreme weather on that year, only Jag-euns who could survive and hatch successfully. Since then, his mother took care of him carefully and showered him with love. However, Jag-eun grew to be a naughty kid. Some animals got fooled by his pranks, and his mother often got complaints from others. Nonetheless, Jag-eun didn't listen whatever his mother said. He always said, yeah, I know mom, I'll behave next time. But then, he did other mischiefs not long after it. Mrs. Noranse, a spider lived at one of the plants near the pond, saw how Jag-eun did his mischief time after time. She often told Jag-eun's mother about it, but his mother only could ask Mrs. Noranse to keep him safe. Of course, Mrs. Noranse reluctantly agreed, but she kept her promise since Jag-eun's mother often helped her to gather the food. Even so, Jag-eun took her protection for granted. To put it in a nutshell, his mother often got headache because of his delinquent behavior. She was put in a dilemma. Mrs. Noranse is right, but how I can be harsh to him? He had lost his father at young age. She used to give him soft scolding every night, but then it only made him spend less time with her. He preferred to wander alone and enjoyed to put himself in dangerous situations to rush his adrenaline. Besides, he knew nothing would happen to him, since Mrs. Noranse always kept him safe like had been requested. Good day everyone! Thanks for visiting the channel. May you enjoy the story, and if you feel you gain something from the story, either motivation or inspiration, don't forget to subscribe the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss other inspiration or motivation stories like this. This time we tell a folktale from Korea, where frog cries during the raining comes. If there is similarity in giving the name of the character, it is a coincidence, since I use Jag-eun for little in Korean and Noranse for yellow in Korean, as well as later on, Juwon for good in Korean. One day, Jag-eun's mother was sick, but he didn't care much until Mrs. Noranse came to scold him. Jag-eun, why are you always playing outside? Your mom looks very sick. How can you be so ignorant with your mother's condition? The young frog just took a glance on the spider before he continued his activity as he replied, Don't be exaggerated, Mrs. Noranse. My mom is not a weak woman. She'll be fine in her time. However, time said differently. Her condition was getting worse day by day. Jag-eun was often staying beside her to take care of her unless went out for having fun. Even so, they still barely had conversation because of Jag-eun's nonchalant attitude as he took care of his mother. How come you got sick like this, Mom? Just get well soon, he said briefly with frown face while he's giving the medicine to his mother. Inside his mind, Jag-eun was irritated, for he couldn't do things perfectly like her. At one time, Mrs. Noranse visited them as she brought some food she could catch with her webs. How are you feeling, Juwon? Noranse. Jag-eun's mother chuckled in pain, then continued, Well, as you can see, I'm still recuperating. You're not young anymore, Juwon. You need to take care of yourself better. While they were talking, Mrs. Noranse saw Jag-eun try to sneak out. So she queried him, Jag-eun, where are you going? Your mom still needs you. Well, you're here, Mrs. Noranse. I think my mom needs you more than me. Jag-eun talked back before he jumped away. You! Mrs. Noranse wanted to scold him, but his mother stopped her. It's alright, Noranse. That child helped me much on the past few days. I believe he needs some break too. You always pamper him. It's not good for both of you if it continues, Juwon. Mrs. Noranse cheated Jag-eun's mother after Jag-eun left, but she couldn't do anything but giving advice to her old friend. After Mrs. Noranse went back to her lair, Jag-eun's mother pondered. It seems I make a burden for him. Ah, poor kid. It's my bad for pampering him and make him unable to do things. What will happen to him if I were gone? Mrs. Yuan felt that her son was still ignorant about his life, so she thought to persuade Jagan to fix his attitude. That night, when Jagan returned, she called him. Jagan, you've grown up now. I think it's time for you to be more responsible with your life. However, Jagan, that was still annoyed for he had mistaken a grasshopper for a cricket, was talking back to his mother. Mom, I just got back. Can you save your lecture for another time? Initially, he wanted to show off to his mother if he could get bigger prey for her, but he failed. Since he was sulking, his mother didn't dare to bother him anymore. On the following days, things were getting awkward. Several times, Mrs. Yuan wanted to talk to her son, but Jagan seemed not want to talk to her. Hence, she kept her thought for herself while her condition was regressed day by day. Knowing that she was dying, Mrs. Yuan said to his son about her will. After long contemplation, she requested him that if she passed away, he should bury her on the river bank near the river they used to live and where his brothers had died before both of them moved to the barn. After all, Jagan doesn't seem to care about me. Maybe this is the best for both of us. Besides, I can rest more peacefully as I blend with nature like my deceased little ones. Her expression still looked bitter, though she attempted to suppress her thought as she stated her last wish. Don't talk nonsense, Mom. It's not something you can make a joke. Looking at his mother's serious expression, Jagan widened his eyes in surprise. However, before he could argue, Mrs. Yuan continued. Promise me, you've never been obedient. At least, at least, fulfill this sole request. Reluctantly, Jagan agreed to his mother's request. His mother seemed relieved after he promised her, but Jagan got restless. However, he fell asleep after he was exhausted from overthinking. Thanks for watching so far. Have you already subscribed to the channel? I appreciate if you've already done. Please feel free to share this video so more people can be motivated or inspired from our channel. Also, don't forget to give like. Few days later, when Jagan started to forget what his mother had said to him, Mrs. Yuan passed away. Jagan would never forget that day. It was a rainy day when Jagan buried his mother. It was just a drizzle at first, but then sudden heavy rain came when Jagan finished with his mother's grave. It made the river overflow and washed away the grave in no time, delivering the deceased to his brother's side. Jagan wailed in grief over what had just happened. He regretted for following his mother's last wish. However, he had already promised. Amidst his mourning, Jagan recalled everything about his mother when she was still alive. Her advice, which he used to think was boring, and her kindness, which he considered as a normal thing, even a mother's duty. He never thought that it was the greatest gift for having someone that really cared about his well-being. With clouded mind, he jumped back to Mrs. Noranse's place. He lamented uncontrollably. Mrs. Norance didn't know what to say when she listened to him. Indeed, it was unwise to bury her on that place. But it was her last wish, and it was the first time Jag-eun had initiative to comply with his mother's wish. Mrs. Norance remembered what happened some days ago when he came to her with downhearted expression and told her forlornly about his mother's will. Of course, she didn't have a heart to blame him further. After all, he had already realized his mistakes. It's commendable for him to admit it. Hence, she advised him to do so. Now, she also wondered if it's the best to do. She kept silent as she let Jag-eun pour all of his sadness. At the end, Mrs. Norance only could advise him to make a fresh start. There's no point for regretting something you cannot change. I believe your mom will be proud of you if you're willing to turn a new page. As been advised, Jag-eun started to change his personality and had more friends since then. Even so, during the rainy days, Jag-eun would still cry out loud for recalling the past. Hence, to this day, there is a Korean folk tale about it, that frog cries during the raining comes. Regrets always come last. Unlike Jag-eun, cherish people around you that really care about you, especially the ones that raise you. Never take for granted for anything we've gotten from them. Moreover, to think that what they do is an obligation. Don't wait to realize about those precious gifts after you lost them. Appreciate every little thing and cherish every moment that we have. If possible, return the favor back. Of course, the favor is not always something grand like material thing or certain achievement, but your presence, attention, also kindness, though the most important is your sincerity when you perform it. Through this story, we also get a glimpse of parenting. A parenting style that always pampers our children, raises a human that didn't understand about others' problem, even the worst, becomes a selfish person. On the contrary, a parenting style that too strict is also not good for our children's development. Learning from some parents, the best way for parenting is to be our children's best friend. Not by overindulging them, but by utilizing a deep talk to involve them in problem solving and giving trust that they can overcome challenges are two ways from many ways to build mutual respectful relationship between parents and children. It is important to choose the right parenting style since it can determine the child's future. Moreover, with recent mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or other mental health issues. With proper parenting, we could raise better next generation and prepare them for their future to embrace their success. If you already have pampered your child with intention to love them, please realize that spoiling the child makes them not mature and independent. Even so, better late than never. This is the time for you to change your parenting style so they are not only growing old, but growing up and independent. Also to be able to overcome the challenges even when we are no longer with them. Thanks for watching this video. Once again, if you feel you gain something from this channel, either motivation or inspiration, please subscribe this channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a thing from this channel. Last but not least, please do share this story so our channel can grow and bring wider positive impact to others. Have a blessed day and see you soon on other videos from other parts of the world.